Oh, hello. Well, I just trashed my intro. I was gonna be like, hello baby corns, welcome to the world. And welcome back to the good old Southern IA. We have emergence on our first plant in the corn. Our first planted corn. Incoming hot rocket. So we have a seed treatment trial going in today that we'll be chatting with you guys about here in a minute. But we need to get the right beans onto the right tenders, get things completely sorted out here. So yes, we've got an absolute mess of seed on the back here because we're going to be putting in our soybean trial plot this year again, which we've done for, how many years have we been doing a soybean plot? Like 5?
Nope, 4 years.
And you've done it every single year? Yeah, so we've been doing some soybean plots for a while. So if it's your first time here, welcome to Southern Iowa. I'm Ben. This is iowANFarmer YouTube channel. That's Andrew. Andrew, are you my brother?
Nope.
Okay. Just about every video that,
both good looking.
yeah. We're making good progress on planting. I don't know if we're halfway or not.
About 65% on the corn, and I don't know, beans probably.
About 50% on beans now, ought to be.
Yeah, close.
Maybe 40% on beans.
We have been running this beautiful Kinsey 3605 1223 with the air seed delivery, pneumatic downforce row clutches on everything, and a hydraulic drive. Woo!
And bulk fill.
Yeah. Well,
That's the ASD part, Andrew.
ASD.
Yep. Air seed delivery.
I was hopeful.
Yeah. And also what we are doing with the spring vlog is that we have been raising money for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation for my nephew Jet. My nephew Jet was born with cystic fibrosis, and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation distributes funds to people that are looking to improve the quality of life for people with cystic fibrosis, or hopefully maybe find a cure. So we have done really good. Molly and I are matching $500 worth of donations. I think we're probably around the $3,000 mark, which is fantastic. So thank you to everybody that's donated, everybody that's considering to donate. There's a link to the GoFundMe page down in the description. All those funds go 100% to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Nothing comes to me or anything like that. So, makes you feel good. Every little bit can help.
you got any wise words for the day?
Plant straight rows.
So on other news, we planted all day yesterday and neither of us filmed. Do you want to tell them why we didn't film yesterday?
My excuse was I forgot the camera anytime something cool was happening, which was like twice out of a 12-hour day. Wasn't a lot going on. He was in the tractor all day.
Realistically, the other big issue is for the past 2 days, we've had sustained 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Horrible.
Bad. So
That's up to 40.
So it would sound like the entire time, so we let her go.
Dad fired this rig up. He planted last night.
I don't know how many acres he got done. He tell you how many acres he did?
17 on the first fill up, and
He did 17 acres and then redid a fill up.
I think it was, no, 17 acres on the first round. The outside in row. I don't know. Short answer is I don't know.
My dad planted something.
And he was doing it old school because the technology wasn't in there and he doesn't know how to program it
To make this thing steer, and this being a, like, this is a 1224, so there's 12 rows on the back and there's 12 rows on the front, and so that there's this oddball sucker right there that makes my life miserable when it's trying to steer things. But you gain another row unit when you go to planting, so it's offset, so like that's an even planter, so it's 12 on the back, 11 on the front. That's what makes it 1223, and that's what makes this a 1224, if you're ever wondering what that is. So if you notice that marker right there is shorter than that marker right there, that's because, just like when kids now don't know what a phone with a cord is on it, like they don't, you know, they don't understand why we go like that on a phone. Like seriously, if you got young kids, ask them to hold the phone up to their ear. You know, our generation will go like that. they don't understand. Yeah. Anyways, fun little stories there. 33 on the first. Yeah, he's got 50 something done then. But someday my kids might go, what were those things that are on the top of the planters that came out with the disc? I don't know why my kids would sound like that, but I'll be like, those were markers, kids. Those were markers. We gotta do a little acrobatics here. The wind was so strong it knocked my mirror back. You can do it! Come on, his acrobatics are going strong this morning. I'm about to put it in neutral. Look at that hog smoking over there. Where else do you get this good of content? Okay, I can go plant now. Well, there she goes. He's gonna go polish off where he planted. But it'd be nice to have, but it'd be really nice to put display cast on 2 tractors, you know, that way I can see where he's planting or where he's been, even though we're not monitoring anything on that planter. I can at least see where he's been and he can see where I've been. He can see where Ben's been. But we don't have that right now. We're just judging by looking at the ground.
I'm moving, Wayne, I'm moving.
So if you look down there, those soybeans are red. That's because those soybeans are treated, which is something that we test in the soybean plots quite often now. And one thing that we've been testing for the past few years is Saltro. And when you're looking at planting into, like we were this year, cool, wetter soils or cool, dry temperatures, seed treatments are really important. And the one thing that we worry about after getting hit with it really hard one year is sudden death syndrome, where our plants basically die later on in the season. But that sudden death syndrome infects the plant really early on, when it's like an infant, you could say. Saltro provides a consistent superior SDS protection without the stress early on the soybeans, which basically the soybeans might outgrow the above ground stresses, but they might not fully recover from the below ground stresses affecting the root. So Saltro is powered by Adepidin, fancy words here, but basically it's a group 7 fungicide that should give us soybean cyst nematode protection and then also protect us against sudden death if it ever rears its ugly head. This year we are actually also pairing that Saltro with CruiserMaxx APX, which gives us a broader protection against other issues like early season insect and disease pressures. And then actually if you kind of plant along tree lines and things along those tighter soils, you can maybe see Pythium, which is basically where the soybean dies, where it's really little. Or later on in the season, like last year, which has kind of made us a little bit excited about this CruiserMaxx APX, was actually the Phytophthora, which is basically dead soybean plants that are throughout the field. You just see them sprinkled everywhere. That's what we're trying to protect. So I'll continue to learn more and more about these things because I study them as the years go on, as the season goes on. We want to make sure that we are putting on the best seed treatment that we can use to protect our investment and maximize our yield. That's why this year we're using Saltro and CruiserMaxx APX. Later in the growing season, we will be harvesting this plot, and I will share with you guys what the results are looking like in case you're on the edge and considering actually spending the capital on treating your soybeans. From us, personally, we know that soybean seed treatment is always a thumbs up. Back to planting, huh? Oh yeah, Lola continues to be a farm dog because Bandit's hanging out with Wayne, and then I was gonna leave her at home today, but Molly then informs me that she has the night shift. So back in the tractor with the fluffy dog. Some of you might wonder, why do we do treatment trial plots and stuff like that? I used to do hybrid or maturity plots, but the issue is that those depend, when it comes to soybeans, a lot upon when you planted them, when the rains come, and things along those lines. Yeah, you can look at the structure of the soybeans and like, how do you like these or how do you like those? But when it comes to actual yield results, a lot of the times it depends upon when the rains came, and if you pick the right length maturity to kind of hit the nail on the head in between the plant date and catching those good rains. However, when you use the same hybrid or same soybean number and just change the treatment, oops, flick that guy out, there's my other one, how that treatment actually changes the yield performance and health of the soybean plant. That's why we've kind of switched to treatment trials instead of maturity length trials.
It's dusty out there, if you didn't notice. Doing a little late evening tillage, the wind's dying down. It's dry. Could use some rain. So, thought I'd bring you guys back in here. I'm gonna get back to my Working Works podcast. Back to some tillage. Down the road? Down the road. Except there's no roads out here. Anyway. Can you guys see where we're going? I can't. Oh well.
So it sounds like Dad's up there waiting on me, and it also sounds like the corn planter's ready to go. So Dad's gonna take over this rig tomorrow and try and plant some beans. Should be, I gotta teach him how to use this, but it's relatively close to the other planter, that his planter, so the bean planter. So you shouldn't have a hard time figuring it out. So it folds exactly the same as the other planter. So there's no difference there. Remote ones, you raise lower, just click it because it's on a timer. Planting in ninth gear, full throttle, you can plant up to 6 miles an hour. So full box is the same. This is the same as the corn planter. So there's your downforce, running from 250 to 260. Remote 3 is your hydraulic drive. So you have to push it down into constant flow, and if you look, see how it's flowing right there?
Yeah.
You just leave that alone all day.
So you push it all the way forward to make it go?
Yep, just push it down. Just click it down like you're lowering it, and it'll just go like that, and it'll be there all day. You cannot control the air seed delivery from in here. You can see it back there, and that's controlled by that needle valve down there. It's not like the corn planter where the hydraulic pressure changes throughout the day because of whatever's going on in the tractor. It stays solid all day long. So change the population if you want to change the population. Change
Where do you plant that?
155. So that's 1.1 bags per acre right now.
And what kind of guidance are you using?
So Smart Path. So here's the thing. So see these two right here?
Yeah.
So if you take Smart Path, you can switch in between Smart Path and your AB line just by clicking those two right there that are next to the AB. It'll rotate in between the two.
Well, I was going to send you home in the red truck. How much is in there?
1,000 pounds in each. So I think, and we still got a little bit on the back.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
We can get it, it'll get close to getting on there.
Of 3/6 on the bean buggy, and I figure I'm going to get the bean buggy down here tomorrow, and then I can take care of myself. So if the planter's full, that was
The planter's full, you can plant them
well, then I got 2 boxes, so I can plant basically all day.
Andrew's rolling dust. Dust?
A little bit.
Well, as you can tell, GoPros are absolutely horrible at the night. Andrew's got an escape artist, sounds like. I was gonna go help him. I didn't know you had your truck here.
Yep.
I didn't know you got a truck here. So I think that's where we're gonna end this video. Dad's taking the bean planter in the morning. I'm going back to corn planting, and we'll see you guys then. I was just telling the YouTube that someday the kids might ask us what those things on the planter were. Just like the kids nowadays don't understand that phones had cords.
Yeah.
They go, what's the heck was that?
Do you think we ought to have it folded just so we got video evidence of what it does?
I did it the other day. Yeah, when I thought I might have GPS drift. Well, we're gonna watch this aerobatics.
Aerobatics? Acrobatics.
When's the Olympics? I might sign up.